Okay, hi everyone. Good evening. Welcome to this session. I hope I'm audible and visible. Just let us know you're here on the chat. We're also live on YouTube, so in case you're watching us on YouTube, just let me know on the live chat. Yeah. Hi, Nalini. Hi, everyone. Just let me know your name and the city that you're from, and we'll get started with the session very, very soon. Today's agenda is for all of you to understand how you can build your career in the UI UX domain. So it's all about understanding the strategies that you need to follow, along with, of course, the skills that you will need to gain, the tools that you will need to master, all of that, but also strategies, some actionable ones on how you can build your career, some do's and don'ts for you, and how to crack your first job, how to crack an interview, all of that. Yes. So just let me know if you're there on the chat. Just let me know your name and the city that you're from. Okay. Also, everyone else, please let me know. Just bear in mind that today, both Suryansh and I think both of us have a sore throat, so we won't be able to really loudly. We've been joking about it before the session started, so just bear with us if our voice is not reaching through. It's because we just have a bad throat. Okay. So hi Naomi, hi Nalini. Good evening to you guys. Yeah, there's still more people who are joining in, I think. We'll get started after that. But before that, anyone who is here on YouTube, just let us know what your name is, the city that you're from. Okay, okay, great. So just some quick ground rules before we start. Remember that the session is being recorded. You will receive a recording and a certificate as a follow-up email in the next 24 to 48 hours. So if you miss something, please do not worry. Let's say your network is an issue or whatever happens, do not worry. You will receive a recording in the next 1 to 2 days. And also, if you want to take a look at the recording immediately, you always have our YouTube channel to refer to. So again, after this session, let's say you want to revisit some of the ideas that have been shared, just head to our YouTube channel. Okay. And towards the end, we'll also collect names for your certificate. So we'll launch a poll, ask you your full name, and then we'll collect your full name, and then we'll use that in the certificate that we send out to you. Okay. So this certificate can be used as a proof of attendance. You can share it on any of your social handles just to show that you have attended this session and learned these strategies. Okay. So that's just some ground rules. Remember, if you have questions, please use the Q&A box to post questions about anything, about how you can start off or whatever questions you have. Just use the Q&A box for that so that we don't miss out on anything. Okay. And Suryansh will use the chat box to engage with you, to speak to you. So make sure you are using the chat box as well to answer his questions during the session. There's going to be a lot of interaction today, both in the chat box. You'll also be answering a lot of polls that we launch, one by one. So make sure you are really interactive and you're taking a lot away from the session. Yes. So a bit about Simplilearn. Simplilearn offers digital skills in various domains. So we offer courses in Gen AI, machine learning, data science, cybersecurity, cloud computing, all of these, along with product and design, product management, UI UX design. So you have certifications, long-term courses as well. So you can head to simplylearn.com and check out our different portfolio of courses. Yeah. So before we start, I would like to launch a quick poll. I'll also introduce you to Suryansh in a while, but we'd like to understand you guys a bit better. So I usually launch this question on what your current work experience is. So just use the poll on Zoom, and if you're watching me on YouTube, use the live chat. Just answer how many years of experience you have. Okay, so it can be whatever, 0 to 3, 3 to 5, more than 5, whatever your answer is. Let us know on the chat if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're watching us on Zoom, then you know what to do. Just use the poll to answer the question. Yeah. Yes. Okay, okay, that's great. So I think while you guys are using the poll to answer the question, let me introduce you to Suryansh, our expert for today, who's going to take you through how you can build a career in UI UX and also some do's and don'ts, some actionable pointers for you to make use of in 2025. Okay, so Suryansh has been a former product owner at Accenture. He's headed multiple product teams across various domains, be it in tech or EdTech. He's also our trainer at Simplilearn, but has also trained a lot of corporates, and also has done a lot of product trainings in many companies. Welcome to this session, Suryansh. I would like you to introduce yourself.
Thanks, Aparna. Hi, learners. Good evening. Suryansh this side, and I'm joining from Gurgaon. Other learners who are there from Gurgaon or from any other place, you're free to mention in the chat box which place you're from. I started my career with Accenture as a product owner and have worked extensively with designers, UI, UX, and tech guys. And it's been a long journey with Simply Learn. I would say that it's been a pretty satisfying journey as well, especially interacting with new learners almost every other weekend. All right, we'll have great fun and I'll share as many experiences as possible with you all. Therefore, I request you all to be pretty active on the chat box. All right, learners, this session, I'm not going to teach you anything. We'll have a strong discussion on each and every slide. Just stay active on the chat box and we'll begin with the discussion. Thanks, Aparna.
Great, great. So I think we're also done with the poll here. In fact, all of the students who are with us are all students. I'm just sharing that with Suryansh as well. So not many people who are experienced in this session today. Okay, great. So Suryansh, do you want to take them through who a UI UX designer is? Do you want me to share the screen or would you like to
I'll
share?
take it up from here, Aparna. Thank
Oh,
you. I'll just quickly, you can stop sharing. I'll immediately start sharing and then we can continue.
sure, sure, sure.
Thanks. Okay, now is my screen visible? Just let me know, everyone. No, it's not visible yet.
No, not visible yet.
Just give me a moment. I'll share screen. Screen broadcast. Everything on your screen will be shared. Start broadcast. You are not in a meeting. Okay, uh, that's
Mhm.
strange. I'm there in a meeting and
Yeah, you are.
okay, learners, sorry for this. Just give me one more attempt. Aparna, I'll quickly rejoin from my laptop so that, sorry, from my pad so that, it just gets better. Just give me 10 seconds and I'm joining back now.
Take your time, take your time.
I don't know out of nowhere why this happened. Here we go. Yep, join webinar again.
Yeah, so remember, any questions you guys have, put it on the Q&A box and we'll take them towards the end. And you don't have to repost your question. It will
Got
be
it.
okay.
Yes.
I can see your screen now.
Here we go. I hope I'm loud and clear and my screen sharing is also going fine. All
Yes.
right. Thank you, learners. Sorry for that small glitch. Now let's see what this slide says. Okay. It says in the first place, who is a UI UX designer? You know what? Let's come back to our. We'll see. Yes, we'll come back here. It says, who is a UI UX designer? It blends the power of AI, so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and have a small scene over here. Okay. Now, learners, you need to be pretty active on the chat box. I'll be asking you questions and let's see how do we proceed with the discussion. Since you all are students, I can expect, greater engagement. Here we go. Learners, here's a scenario. Let's say you would like to make a tech product like Zomato, or let's say like Uber, or let's say something like Microsoft Teams, or let's say you'd like to make something like Zoom. All right. Now, I am sure that everyone in this particular session would have used at least one of these products. Zoom, obviously, we're using right now. Just give me a quick thumbs up, learners, if you have used it, yes or no. Go ahead, yes or no, learners. Just write it in the chat box or the tech product. Tell me if you've used which one. Because any of these products that you see began their journey with a word called design. And that design, learners, was not something that you could imagine. Maybe it was an app or maybe it was a website. No, it all started with a small design using a pen and a paper. Right. And once the pen and paper design made sense, things got migrated, and finally we have what we see today. These tech platforms which we use almost on a daily basis. This journey, learners, as we see, requires, let's say, someone to build an app or build a website. You could say that it could be a job of an engineer. It could be, let's say, job of a database manager, so on and so forth, right? But if this product is being used today, how it looks, where the icons or where the options are, it's because of someone known as UI UX design. So he or she is the person who has placed your Instagram stories like this, who has placed swipe right or swipe left, which app I'm talking of. This is what a UI UX designer does. I'll cover more, let's say, things in detail, but you know what? Today we have added a new word which is called, can anyone identify? There's this new word of artificial intelligence present over here, right? And it says that he's someone, who is intuitive, who makes this intelligent interfaces. It let's say it enhances user experience while integrating AI driven, so on and so forth. When I started my career, what I used to do is I used to tell my UI UX person that this is what the screen should look like, and he would go to his Mac, based on his previous designs or files that he has, he would create a similar one, right? Today, learners, can anyone tell me which are the products available in the market that can do this job for you? Maybe you could just elaborate them how you want the screen to look like, and they'll just simply create the screen for you. Can anyone answer some of the products that you're aware of? Canvas, that's great. What else? What else? Today, learners, you have got products like Canvas, you've got products like GenCraft, and of course, you have got everyone's favorite Aparna for using assignments, because these all are students, our very old friend ChatGPT. All right. Therefore, these products, learners, are helping UI UX designers do their job better in terms of, let's say, how should the design look like to give you a starting point. That's the reason the job of a UI UX designer today takes a lot of help from these, what do you say, artificial intelligence tools. That's the reason in today's session, we are focusing on a designer who needs to use these tools to get the job done faster. All of these things, user experience and all, we'll cover in detail as we proceed, but that's what the synopsis is. All right, learners, if you are here, if you're there with me, all students, just give me a quick yes in the chat box so that we know how many of us are still there. Just drop me a quick yes in the chat box just to see. Thank you, Nalini. Okay, now as I proceed and I cover these words, Aparna, as you can see, these words may appear to be a little hi-fi for students, user-centric design. I'm just a student. What are you talking of? Prototyping, continuous optimization, so on and so forth. Let me ask Aparna, our learners, a very small question. All right. Learners, tell me how many of you have experienced this. Let's say you're ordering food online. Okay. You pay using your credit card. You reach a screen which says, please enter OTP. The moment you see the screen on your phone itself, there is an option wherein you can see the OTP and it does autofill. You don't need to type the OTP. The OTP is automatically read, it is filled, and your order is placed. Experience this, learners, may it be food ordering, may it be airlines tickets, anything. Have you all experienced this? Yes or no? Just drop me a quick yes. That yes, Suryansh, very common. I mean, why are we discussing these things? Go ahead, I'll tell you why this thing came in existence in the first place. All right, why do we see this? The reason is when e-commerce started, people were hesitant. If I'm ordering shoes, will I get shoes? If I'm ordering a phone, will I get a phone, or is it just a fake? And especially if it involved high value transactions, at the last moment when the payment was to be done, when money was about to go from the account, these e-commerce companies realized this is one moment where people drop off, because that's when the money is going from the account. This is what travel companies also realized when they were planning, when people were planning trips. At the last moment, should we go, not go, it's expensive, or should we go, they would cancel it. So what these companies did, they said, let's not give people time to cancel. Let's have access to their text messages, read it for them. This will save their time and effort of going to messages. And this will also ensure that people do not cancel at the last moment. That's the reason you have autofill options today on all your tech platforms. Sorry for my throat, learners. That's the reason it says continuous optimization, because they gathered data. People were canceling at the last moment, right? And once people were canceling at the last moment, let's cancel out that step itself, no? So that we don't need people to manually type the OTP. Now, here's another question for you, learners. How many of you use Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, or any of these products, and you have seen circles, 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 circles everywhere? May it be Instagram stories or Snapchat stories. Just give me a quick yes in the chat box that yes, Suryansh, I see a lot of circles. Anyone? Do you see lots and lots of circles everywhere? If you don't see circles, you will see lots of rounded rectangles. Now, learners, these exist because they realize circles people are more familiar with. Circles, they come out as more friendly rather than sharp edges. That's the reason all tech platforms, you see their stories icon, they exist in circles today. This is where we come to our user centered design, because that's how these designers get real time data, and these are the changes that we keep seeing frequently. Now, here's a scenario. How many of you use iPhone? Just drop me a quick yes. Quick, just drop me a quick yes. That's Suryansh. Yes, I use iPhone because this is one recent change that I've seen. According to the recent update that they have launched, now if I have to, let's say record a call, the journey in the earlier scenario for any other phone would be to enable call recording. That either would be in the form of a circle, which would have a recording option, something like this. What Apple did, they said that let's not make the screen too congested, and they have now a small voice kind of an icon which is placed at top left corner, so that now you can record the call then and there. They have ensured that this part of the screen does not get cluttered. That's how, learners, your job would prevail, wherein you will be working with lots of data. And once you have access to lots of data, you'll continuously optimize things. For example, the OTP feature that we just discussed. Okay, with me, without me, learners, just quickly drop me a yes in the chat box before I share the next set of stories with you. Thank you, Nalini. Any other learner would like to drop in with yes, or maybe you're still there? Okay, we've got one more person dropping a yes. Now, learners, let's say why these kind of people are in demand in the first place, because you've got growth of AI, user experience matters, bridging the gap, but that's fine. I'll give you a simple reason why these techies, as we say them, with UI UX design are in demand. Now, just answer this quick question. If you consider an industry, let's say real estate, right? Just quickly write down in the chat box what kind of people would, let's say, a builder or a developer who builds these townships and all, or flats, apartments and all, what kind of people will they employ? They will employ, let's say, civil engineers, right? Could you give any answers on the chat box? What kind of people would they employ? Architects. That's perfect. Right answer. What else? Architects. That's great. Anyone else apart from architects? Whom all do you think will they employ? Now, learners, how things have changed. There is a builder, you'll hear it someplace or the other, which goes by the name House of Abhinandan Lodha. I can tell you because I'm a customer to this company. What they've done is they say that if you have a portfolio of stocks, you can view it on your mobile phone anytime. You have Kite, you have Grow, you've got Money Control, so on and so forth. You've got platforms where you can do some trading. However, don't you think you need a place wherein you can manage all your real estate assets? So, what this brand has done, they have launched their own platform. Now, on that platform, if I buy, let's say, real estate using this company, I have access to all my investments on my app. Today, I decide, I would like to sell one of my real estate assets. I can make my listing available on the platform. Other, let's say, clients, they can see that this particular plot is available for sale. And that's how internally, without hunting for buyers outside, I have buyers available with me. What they are doing is they are ensuring that everyone who is an investor in real estate, they come to this platform for their company, and then they can buy, they can sell plots. What next they've done is people usually have concerns that, hey, will my project be delivered on time, or what's the current status? So they've started delivering updates as well. In this way, a company that isn't mainly concerned with, what do you say, civil engineering, is moving from only a physical product to a community of real estate investors. So today, learners, industries that were considered non-tech, industries that were considered usually managed by landowners or zamindars, as we call them in India, has now moved on to a tech-based one. That's the reason we're seeing a huge demand in AI UI UX designers. One more part is that with the help of artificial intelligence, things can get pretty fast. They don't need to begin from scratch. As we are doing our whiteboarding, if you have got some heads up, it shortens your time for development. Not only this, there are other builders like M3M. I think there's another builder called Bhutani. They have also launched something like this, but I'm this company's client, so I can vouch for it. All right, now learners, we're clear that these people are in demand, right? If you are there with me still now, just quick yes in the chat box, and then we'll proceed. Let's see how many learners. Thank you. All right. Now, don't honestly, don't get a little scared because I was also a student. And when I used to hear these words, for example, it can be complex and seamless. You need to work with AI tech. For non-techies, it may appear to be little gibberish. That first of all, I am not from tech background and so on and so forth. We'll address these questions as we proceed. But just wanted to ask, how many of you are from non-tech background? Or just mention one word. We'll come to that. Whomsoever has asked this question. How many of you, just mention in the chat box, if you are a student, what education are you pursuing? Let's say you could be pursuing BCom honors. Let's say you're pursuing maths honors. You could be maybe a BBA student. So we've got an engineer. What else? What else? Learners, just quickly type in your backgrounds. BTech, Triple E. Aparna, if there is one branch in engineering which is the toughest, in which I managed to barely pass, was Triple E. Electrical and electronics combined can't be handled. I couldn't handle electrical alone. Forget about combining with electronics. So hats off, Surbi, if you are, excelling in triple. It's the toughest subject. It's the toughest branch. Okay, we have got someone who is studying communication. We've got electronics engineer. Great. Anyone else would like to pitch in? Okay, learners, let me just ask you a quick question over here. Let's say you know how to drive a car. Okay, will you find it difficult to drive your friend's car? Let's say both of them same transmission, both of them are automatic transmission. Would you find it difficult to drive your friend's car? Yes or no? Just give me a quick answer. I mean, the rules are same, the city is same, everything's same, right? How difficult can it be? Maybe you're going to take 5 minutes or so to get adjusted to the things, but sooner or later it's all the same system, right? This is where we come to this particular part, which says, what are the some do's and all that we'll discuss? They're very simple, just that I would like to back them up with certain personal experiences so that you know which one relates when. Learners, whenever we look for recruitment, every company would be using certain set of tools. Some companies actively use Figma. Some companies actively use Balsamiq. It's not that if you know Balsamiq and you don't know Figma, you're gone. It's not that. It's just that in the job requirement, what they will do is, let's say if Aparna is putting a job app, let's say, job posting on LinkedIn. All right, Aparna, you have posted a job posting on LinkedIn which says you want people who have got knowledge about Balsamiq. Okay. And you have got another applicant, let's say it's Surbhi or let's say it's Nalini. They know Figma. These two are similar. Now, Aparna has got 100 applications in just 1 hour. She will not have time to go through 100 resumes. So, what she'll do is she'll simply apply a filter. I want only those resumes which have got Figma on their resume. If you find Figma, please shortlist them. And we see that good candidates, because they know some other tool could not make it. That's the reason it is important that you have at least some knowledge of as many design tools and emerging technologies possible. Let's say you've got good experience working with Google Gemini. You hardly use ChatGPT. The job description has mentioned ChatGPT. Unnecessary, you have an option of you may not get shortlisted. Therefore, knowing as many tools as possible increases your chances of screening in. Believe me, the maximum number of candidates who don't get selected or who get filtered out, this happens in screening. After that, once you screen in, at least you have a fighting chance. The worst part is to get screened out because you don't even know the reason why you got screened out. All right. Now it says that you need to focus on user-centered design portfolios. You need to have a design versatile portfolio. You need to be updated with UX research trends, networks, so on and so forth. Let's just say one thing. How many of you use LinkedIn? If you use LinkedIn, just open LinkedIn on your phone. All right. If you use LinkedIn, just open LinkedIn on your phone. I'm doing it side by side. Right now, just hold on over here. Just hold on over here. How many of you have opened LinkedIn? Just drop me a quick yes in the chat box. That yes, Suryansh, I have opened LinkedIn. Great. Now, learners, on the bottom side, you see a toolbar which says Home, My Network, Notifications, Jobs, and all, right? Next to the home part, you see something known as video. Do you see that, learners? Yes or no? At the bottom left, there is Home, and next to Home, there is something known as video. Do you see that? Yes or no? On your phone. Learners, why we see that is LinkedIn is doing something similar to what Facebook did. Facebook was all about images, sharing posts, writing posts, like, share, so on and so forth. But now, as you see, it has become majorly centric towards videos. Same journey LinkedIn has started, wherein they want to push as many videos as possible, and that's the reason now they have given you a video option at the bottom. Earlier, it was not there. This is the part where we come in to something known as, just give me a moment, user centered design principles. The company says, hey, UI UX designer, you know what? I would like to promote videos. I would like to promote videos more. How should I do that? So, one way is, a UI UX designer can say, uh, encourage users to put more videos. But how do we do that? You can't be speaking. LinkedIn can't talk, no? That put more videos. How do you do that? You highlight it, that put more videos. And how do you do that? You place an icon, as you have done here. Next to the home, you place an icon of video. At least people will click on it and then they'll get to know, okay, so we have got multiple videos, as you can hear in the background. Something similar to YouTube Shorts they have tried to make. That's how, whatever your business requirements are, learners, UI UX designer is the frontline person who will make that happen. You may have a very strong backend engineering team to take care of any development purpose whatsoever. But if the user is not clicking that link or clicking that button, it's not going to work. So, UI UX designer is that frontline person who will get your customer to the place where you want he or she to be. That's the reason we talk more and more about user centered design principles, because you bring in the user. It's simple words. Right. Learners, how many of you, let's say, have, I think, Aparna, we saw that. I think all of them are students, right?
Yes, that's
Now,
right.
let me ask you, let's ask the favorite question, Aparna. How many of you learners today feel that, Suryansh, all that knowledge is fine? But you know what? I am a student at communication. I am a BTech student. There's no way I'm going to make through a selection procedure. How many of you have this concerns? Just quickly drop a yes in the chat box that, yes, Suryansh, why would any company recruit me? I mean, they have got people who are presently doing designing work, and I am not even from that industry. Go ahead, just give me a yes, because as students we have lots of these concerns of confidence, and why should anyone hire me when I'm not from this field? Just drop me a yes, learners, quick, if you have this. The Suryansh, why would someone take me for a UI UX designer's job when I've got zero experience, I don't belong to this industry, I'm just a fresher?
Or
Okay,
we
anyone else?
make them answer this poll that I think will give us a better idea. Why is
Oh
it?
yeah, sure. Let's answer. Let's answer that poll and then we'll see. Great.
Yeah.
Aparna, we'll launch the poll. Good
Yes,
that
yes.
we brought the poll now.
Second. Just a moment.
I think poll will have good responses.
Yeah, that's right. Now it's live. So
Yes, learners is a poll live, and let's see what answers you can come up for this one. Okay. Learners, if you have any questions, you can keep sending your questions in the Q&A box. We'll have good amount of time to discuss questions and answers. Uh, First, let's see what answers do we get from the poll.
poll, I think, yeah, it'll be great if all the learners respond. I'll keep the poll live for another 15, 20 seconds.
Okay, by the time learners are answering this uh, question which says of poll, next question for you all.
Mm.
How many of you have heard of this thing called YouTube Shorts? Go ahead. YouTube Shorts? I think majority of traffic of YouTube has moved towards Shorts. Yes or no, learners? Right? Next question. Next question. The first famous tech product to bring these stories, the stories feature, who was it? Anyone remembers? The first time we really saw the stories option coming up on our screens. Which was it? Any idea? Anyone would like to guess? Stories that we see on Instagram, you see something on Facebook, so on and so forth. So it was first thought of by Snapchat and now replicated across Instagram and wherever you go, right? That's where learners, it comes with the second last point, which says research trends. The moment you realize, or let's say you notice a shift, people are spending less time watching a video. Why? Maybe the patience level has gone down. Next, if people use Snapchat, what feature do they use the most? Okay, it's the stories that have got famous. It's your job in this scenario to stay updated with whatever recent trends that are taking place. That's the reason you will have a lot of play around learners with data. So you'll get lots and lots of inputs from how your product is performing. And then that's how you'll go ahead and make changes. Any answer on the poll, Aparna?
Yeah, so I'm just going to end the poll here,
Yeah.
but most of our answers are around this, that they don't have practical exposure.
Practical exposure, right? So we don't have practical exposure on how, let's say, we become get this role, right?
Yes,
This
correct.
is where learners, let's focus on a very small word a very small word called portfolio. Okay. Now learners see, whenever as a designer you're showcasing that maybe you're suitable for this job or maybe you would like to get in the career of UI UX, everyone knows that you are a fresher and you may obviously you don't have any industry experience. The first thing when hiring freshers they would look for is, if you are jumping in this field, do you have any prior project experience? Or if we let's say talk about a designer, what is your portfolio? Simple. If you've not worked for the industry, then show me some work at least that you have done apart from passing your semester exams, right? This is where, as we'll see, we try to cover as many tools as possible in this particular course so that once your portfolio is ready, you have a better fighting chance of making through. That's the reason portfolio plays a role to get you screened in. Because if your resume is being considered and you have a portfolio link, people would go and see what work you have done. And that's how your screening will become. Once you're screened in, your entire interview or selection procedure will be based on your portfolio. So this is someone that we'll discuss more as we proceed. Now. Question for everyone. Honestly, tell me in the chat box one website or app that you just hate using. I mean, it is, let's say, it just doesn't work. It's pathetic design. Maybe the website takes a lot of time to load, so on and so forth. Hi, RCTC. Thank you, Surbi. I think, Panda, this is the most common answer we get
Yes.
across webinars. Anyone else? Anyone else? Any other one would like to answer? For me, that is that there's this challan portal of Delhi Police, or wherein you pay for your challans. So now they've got so many cameras that every time you step on that pedal, a challan would come. The cameras everywhere in Delhi NCR, right? So you can't hide. They've got a guaranteed revenue stream that whenever a person steps out of the house, we'll get a challan. So once you go out, and you'll see that it says a message, your challan is it's ready. The moment you click on it, you'll have a very nice time because you need to zoom in, zoom out, move here and there just to see what challan are you looking at, right? Duolingo test app. Okay. Now, that's the reason, learners, some websites which are, let's say, which don't have an option, or they don't have, what do you say, a competitor, they work. That's the reason today companies like Make My Trip and all, they allow you to book train tickets. People prefer them to make train tickets just because they have a better UI UX. नहीं तो IRCTC has always been there just because they offer better UI UX. Another reason is these travel portals and all, their screens are simple. I mean, you just click there, get it done. It's not small font, scatter, too much information, blue color, covering your entire screen. That's the reason you engage better because your design is simple. These websites, which are, let's say, government websites or don't have a competitor, they can easily afford to have a better UI in the short run because people will definitely come there. However, competitors, or let's say your own tech platforms, you cannot afford to do so. There's a very famous study, Aparna. Indians have the shortest patience when it comes to loading a website. Globally, people will stay for 5 seconds if the website is not loading. But we Indians, the moment we see that, okay, 2 second over and the website is not loading, let's just switch it off. We don't have that much patience. Therefore, learners, remember, if your website doesn't load fast, or let's say it's not having a good interface, you're gonna be in trouble because definitely your usage will decline. We see something known as don't neglect, let's say, soft skills like communication. Any guesses, learners? Do you see this second last point? Yes or no? Which says, Suryansh, don't neglect skills like communication, right? I'll give you a personal example again. We had this amazing product of which I was the product owner, which was called Discover. Every time a new update would be needed, what I would do is I would go and I would go and talk to my UI UX person that, this is the design that we are looking at. Could you please help me create this design so that we can show it to the leadership? Okay. I'm the one who is, let's say, talking to leadership to get this job done. One day, Monday, I get some requirements. I tell him, he creates something. Next day, I get another requirements. He creates it, still fine. Third day, I get some other set of requirements. This guy is irritated. Hey, why don't you just stick to one requirement at least? One way is he can get upset. He can visibly show his irritation. Another scenario. Let's say, we got a guidance which says that we would like to have 3 to 5 things available on our landing page. Okay, simple. Now remember, we product owners, techies, engineers, leadership, they are not the designers. This person is. So when this person notices something is wrong, he or she will speak up. That's the reason we come to a skill called communication, which says if you don't communicate politely, you're gonna get replaced. Because people will think that you're arrogant just because you've got more knowledge than we've got in design field. You're just not listening to us. Therefore, it is not necessary only to have expertise, but it's just that how you politely communicate that, hey, in the previous clients that we have worked with, we noticed that this won't work because maximum one or two links are what people access. So if you put three or four, you'll not get the desired return. But still, if you want it, we can proceed. That's fine. Therefore, learners, this is one area we'll keep in touch. Learners, was ChatGPT there 5 years back? Yes or no? Just drop me a yes or no in the chat box. I'm sorry, I'm also like Aparna having a very nice time with my throat and cold. But tell me, ChatGPT was there 5 years back? Yes or no? Were we using ChatGPT 5 years back? Anyone? I think these kind of platforms have sprung up recently. Okay. The reason is that today, if you don't know these platforms, you're going to be in trouble. It's like Google 20 years back. Today, no matter what field, even today, when I create content for different trainings, I don't start typing from scratch that this is a company. No, 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 no. No. My job is only to create an idea, create a problem, and what could be the expected solution. The grammatical errors, writing of content, beautiful English, so on and so forth are all done by these AI tools. Therefore, if some tools have come up, it's better you take importance of them. That's the reason it's very common part. You can't stop upgrading your skills. All right. Learners, can you quickly count how many tools are there on the screen? Figma, Adobe XD, Sketch, Balsamic. Can you give a quick count, learners, if anyone would like to volunteer? How many total tools are there on your screen? On an average, I see around more than 10. Yes or no? Learners, 12. Okay, Nalini has counted well. There are around 12 tools. Anyone else would like to give a guess? Remember, learners, these tools are being actively used today. What happens tomorrow when they change, we don't know. But as a course provider, our job is to ensure that when you create your portfolio, let's say when you apply for jobs, you showcase your portfolio, you cover all of these tools available. In this way, you have a better chance of screening your resume. You have a better talking chance when you get selected for the interview. All right, learners. Now, over to Aparna. Aparna, over to you. I'll just stop sharing, and maybe in between, if time permits, we'll show them a small brochure as well.
Yeah.
Right? I'll
Yeah,
just stop sharing.
yeah, sure, sure. Great. I think with this, they have understood pretty much everything about how they can get started and where they are lacking, probably. And like most of them said that they don't have the practical exposure they need to become job ready, right? So that is where, along with all the other strategies that you learned from Suryansh, you will also need to understand how this course is going to actually help you upskill and become job ready, because it is going to give you just the kind of exposure you need, be it in terms of understanding the various concepts in UI UX, and also what's coming up, how Gen AI is really empowering the whole field. That, and along with that, you also have an access, have a chance to create your own portfolio on Behance and Dribble, right? So we're going to be understanding more about this course, but let's say you are already interested in knowing more about this course. You can head to the course page, or you can let us know. I'm just going to keep another poll live for a while. Okay, while I talk about this, you can let us know through this particular poll as to whether you'd like to enroll or not in this program, right? So, but before that, let me just take you through the basic details about this course. You will have live classes, interactive sessions from trainers, and this is going to go on for 5 months overall. And with the help of live classes, with the help of interactions with your instructors, you're going to help, and you're going to understand all the concepts you need to in the UI UX domain, right? So this is delivered in collaboration with IIIT Bangalore, and you are going to be having support from your mentors, from your instructors, to create your own portfolio, to do your own projects. And also, the best part is you're going to understand how Gen AI influences UI UX design, right? So this course is rated 4.5 and above on all of these platforms. You can find actual testimonials from students on SwitchUp or Course Report or Trustpilot. And that's how, we're confident that this will also help you in your journey towards pursuing a career here. Right. So I don't think we really need to understand which companies are hiring. I think Suryansh did an amazing job in telling you how or where exactly you'll find opportunities in the UI UX domain, what kind of companies are hiring you, right? But let me just jump right into the curriculum here, and maybe Suryansh, you can take them through
Sure.
curriculum.
Maybe you can stop sharing up and I'll just quickly
Yeah,
start sharing.
sure.
Learners, let's take a small scenario. Let's say we begin our training session. Let's see how the module will look like. All right. Because many a times, Aparna, we all have this misconception like it's online, it's going to be boring.
Yeah,
There's going to be someone speaking, or maybe it could be recorded, and I'm just supposed to sit and listen. Right. Let's see how things work by giving you an example of one module, how it's going to be shaped. Because all modules, pedagogy would remain same, just that the tools and all will differ. I hope my screen's visible. And my coughing is also audible. Okay, learners, let's say we begin with our training, and the first topic that we're going to learn about is UI UX design and design thinking fundamentals. Very simple thing. I'll not waste time in going through a small paragraph. Let's see how practical exposure or portfolio building takes place. Introduction to design theory, right? But here we go. Topic based case study and topic based discussion. As we proceed down to the next set, again, we have a small discussion based on that topic. However, it ends with a case study. It ends with an activity. Again, it ends with an activity and it ends with the mentor led project support. There's a end project which says improvise home screen for simple clothing brand. If we see at the tools, this is what we're going to cover in the first one. Let's go to the second one. As you can see, the pedagogy remains same. Again, a case study, case study, case study, activity, activity. As we go down, there is a final project, which is, let's say, again, simple clothing brand. You need to perform user research and develop user personas. This will also cover a phase two of mental health support and the tools that we'll be covering. Therefore, learners, if you being a student have had enough and enough more of classes, especially online, if you were one of the COVID batch students, if you have enough and more online classes or theories, please focus on the case studies and activities that you are seeing. Because every time, learners, you solve a case study using the tools for that module, it becomes a part of your portfolio. By the time your curriculum or course gets completed, you have your portfolio ready to showcase. You don't waste time developing a portfolio and then applying for jobs. And this pedagogy continues and continues with whatever different tools, whatever project, designing wireframes, so on and so forth. That's how it works. But now over to you. I think we've covered how the pedagogy and the practical experience would work over here.
Right, great. Thanks, Suryansh. Right. So we are on to the other details. Of course, you've understood the curriculum here, and you also understood what kind of tools, how you're going to create your portfolio, and like Suryan said, so that's going to give you the right amount of exposure and also the confidence to apply for opportunities and find opportunities there. right? So this is how your course end certificate looks like. So you will have to finish a certain part of your, the live learning modules along with the projects, and also whatever modules there are in terms of creating portfolio, all of that. So you will need to complete these modules to be able to unlock the certificate, right? So this is the course information, and let me just take you through the other electives as well, along with what Suryansh mentioned. So there are also master classes by design leaders, people from the industry, taking sessions on how you can, how you should be thinking, how you should approach UI UX design, basically, and also master classes from IIIT Bangalore faculty, right? So there's also a generative AI masterclass telling you exactly how you can leverage this in UI UX and the whole process, basically. And along with that, you have an understanding of how to build a website using HTML5 and CSS3. Now, Suryansh, maybe you can highlight how this is exactly important for someone learning UI UX design.
Thank you, Aparna.
Mm.
Learners, let's look at one point which Aparna highlighted over here, which is website building using HTML5 and CSS3. Now, I see some of you were from communication background. BTech CS people would obviously understand my language. If you would like to showcase someone a beautiful design that you have made of a website, there are multiple ways, right? One is you ask a friend, you need a website, you ask a family member, do you need a website, and you get those things done, right? Your chances of selection increase when you have as many products to show. As many products, if they are live, they have better reception. I'll tell you something about what happened. So, one of my very close friends, he worked during his internship with a startup with IIT Bombay, and he had amazing things to show that we could this, I did this, I was a part of this. When he was giving his presentation for the internship, okay, and everyone's like, okay, wow, he's done a pretty good job. So they said, all right, show what you have done, we would like to see. So he said, sure. Now the product that he had worked on had something to do with pregnancy. The college had blocked that website. Now, sitting in the classroom, he happily went to the link. It showed a message, FortiGuard, access denied. He is sitting there. Everyone's sitting there. They would like to see the product, but the product is not working. So they said, hey, why don't you switch to internet connection using your phone and all, and then go. That was not the time when 5G was there. Now, everything that he wanted to show was there on his screen, which says access denied. So to avoid you getting in a situation like this, website building using HTML5 and CSS3 is so easy that if you know how to type English, you could get good hands-on experience to create one in less than 2 days. I'm telling you because I myself have done
Mm.
that. So it's gonna take you less than 2 days to literally get this thing done. The best part of a website is it's live. It's there for the world to see. So you got 5 websites, you sit in an interview and say, I created these 5 websites using my own designs. So let's have a look at it. That's the reason you get these kind of, what do you say, added doses just to push your case forward. Over to you, Parna.
Got it. Thanks, Suryansh, for highlighting that. And let's say someone wants to download the program brochure that Suryansh was showing. You can click on this link. How you can do that by clicking on the course page. Go to the course page, just download the program syllabus here. You'll be able to check all of this information in detail, right? So we've, I think, already touched upon the various tools that you'll be learning, the various skills that you will gain through this particular course. And so, Suryansh, do you also want to highlight the capstone projects and how they are?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Aparna. Aparna, you can stop sharing.
Yes.
Sorry, learners, we keep wasting your time in this sharing businesses, but the things that are understood best are better done, with writing and showing you how things can look like.
Correct.
This is especially good, Aparna, seeing the scenario we have mostly students here.
Yes.
Now, students, I'll give you one example of my own selection procedure. It was in 2018. I was sitting for Accenture for the role of a product owner business analyst, right? You know what? I'll give you this is a real example. It started with a small group discussion, and we were all hoping that, Aparna and all will have a group discussion on current affairs, so on and so forth. Pumped up and all, package was good. So the person came. There were two people who were there. They said, "Okay, we'll begin the GD," and everyone's like, "I'm not going to let you speak." We're pretty energetic. He said that the GD will not go wherein I'll give you a topic to speak. He said that you need to give me individually use cases of artificial intelligence. Learners, this is not today's world. This is 7 years back, 6 years back. All right. So if you think that's so easy, 6 years back, artificial intelligence was not as easy as it is today. Okay. Now, everyone's like, okay, that's fine. So they said, okay, your turn, sir. Sir, I've seen artificial intelligence in chatbots. Then everyone knows. Next. I've seen artificial intelligence in chatbots in telecom. Next. So everyone got on the situation, little stuck. What is going to happen? And everyone was sitting with their chatbots. So at next turn came Suryansh. So then I said, sir, I believe artificial intelligence can create good pilots. With every flying sortie, you get more experience on flying. The next sortie gets better, gets better, gets better, and the computer never retires. And if something goes wrong with the plane, we don't lose a life. Moreover, when we know that there is no life at stake, the missions can even get dangerous and they can get riskier because we know that up to the worst, what will happen? We'll lose a plane. No, we'll not use the life of a person. Moreover, machines don't take salary, they don't have medical expenses, and also we're going to save a lot of money as well. So he said, Suryansh, how do you know this? I said, because sir, in one of the projects, I worked on creating a drone. Got me through. My interview came. The entire discussion revolved. Suryansh, I see these two projects that you have done. You are an MBA student, but I see these two projects which are more of tech side. Tell me more about them. Therefore, learners, freshers, if you have your resume, if you have something known as projects on your resume, in 90% of the job is this. Your marks will get you screened in, but your projects will make you get selected. That's the reason we come with the importance of capstones. When I take sessions for product owner as well for SP Gen's course. There are 6 capstones, and I just ask learners to complete all 6 of them. Because if you are switching a role, you need to show some work that you have done, and that work can be shown using capstone projects. Therefore, learners, if you have that in mind, no experience, no prior knowledge, nothing of related to UI UX, if your capstones are good enough, you will be considered because they give you a slight edge over others who do not have any experience. And a good capstone done properly gets your chances higher because it will involve all the tools that you have studied. It will involve all the design principles that you have studied. It will involve, let's say, all the HTML, CSS, or generative AI, whatever you have studied. Your capstone will encompass everything. So it will showcase your knowledge without you speaking for it. Therefore, your capstones come out as the most important part of this particular course. Over to you, Abanda.
Okay, great. Thanks, Suryansh, for highlighting that. And so here are some hiring companies. Of course, this list is very, very limited to the amount of jobs that you can find if you're upskilled in the UI UX domain. It's limitless. So you can just head to LinkedIn or any other job search sites to understand what kind of opportunities are opening up in the field. So along with all that we told, let me just take you through our program advisors and trainers. So our program advisors are basically people from IIIT Bangalore, and these trainers that you see, you can see that they're also experienced, immensely experienced in the field, right? So you can check out their profiles by heading to the course page here and understand what their journey has been, right? And also, you can check out some career growth stories of especially of Anupama here, who was a physics graduate, but she later on transitioned to becoming a UI UX designer. So you can check out this story as well. Now, last but not the least, along with everything that the course offers, you get the Job Assist program. So with the Job Assist program, you have, an IIM Jobs Pro membership free for about 6 months. And then there's also resume building assistance. Along with that, you also get support on interviews, right? So this too is available as a complimentary feature in the course. Now, how you can be a part of this course and understand more is by selecting a yes on the poll. Some of you have already done that, but I encourage the others also to just maybe give a yes and understand what the course entails by talking to a learning advisor. So you can expect a call maybe tomorrow sometime in the next 24 hours. You should be talking to a learning advisor, understanding all about the course and the application steps as well. So you just have to fill in your details by clicking on apply now. Once the application is reviewed, the admissions panel gives out an offer letter to you. And then this offer letter comes via email. You pay the admission fee and then you're a part of the course, right? So that's the process of enrolling. All you need to have is some amount of work experience and also also you should have completed your graduation. So if you're closer to say, your final year or something, I think you should be through. If you have internship experience, um, that might count, but again, I'm not really sure. So the best person to answer that is a learning advisor. Okay, right? So that's all about the course. In case you have questions to ask, please use the Q&A box to reach out to us. So I think one
We
question.
see a question. It says any background prior knowledge should be known or not. See, prior background knowledge definitely helps, but it is not the deciding factor.
Hmm.
If you, let's say, come with a fresher's mindset with good enough, what do you say, portfolios or projects to show, you will get an entry in this career because that shows that you're not learning from scratch. You've already kept some of the live projects with you, which means that you're serious about this role. Next, you know how to work under a timeline, you know how to understand requirements, and then create, let's say, a portfolio, or let's like you know how to create a website. That's good enough to get you a role. As of now, learners, when we talk of getting in this field, the first priority is first getting an entry point. And to get that entry point, your portfolios and capstone projects serve the requisite purpose. I think that answers.
Yeah. I think with that, we're also done with questions. Any more questions, guys, please use the Q&A box. Otherwise, we're pretty much done with the session. And also, thanks so much for giving your interest in the program. Someone will contact you and explain the details as well. So I'm
Right.
also launching another poll asking your name for the certificate, for the webinar certificate. So please enter your names there. And let's say you have a question to ask Suryansh, please use the Q&A box. Right, so the poll is for giving your name in the certificate. Yeah. I think we're pretty much done here. There are no more questions to ask. Uh, but yeah, glad to have you again, Suryansh, in this session. It was really engaging, informative, everything at once. I hope the learners take your advice and also implement it in their journey. Yeah, any closing thoughts before we end?
Yes, thanks a lot, learners, for bearing our sore throats and horrible cold that we have got. I hope we were able to deliver the required information. See, learners, as trainers, my first job is, apart from enrolling and all that separate, my first job is to not ensure, just to see that you're not misguided. because you may take up this course, or that's the secondary part. The whole concept is that you shouldn't be misguided and think that since I don't belong over here, since I don't belong to this education, or since I don't belong to this industry, I cannot enter. So that's the first misconception that I thought of getting you all to rid of, because I personally, learners, have tried so many careers in the past 7 years, and finally narrowed down that training and teaching is something that I should keep doing. So it's not that if your education is not in this field, you shouldn't be there, but just see that don't get misguided because of just because it doesn't look you don't belong there. All right, that's the first part. Second is, since we are dealing with a lot of freshers up and now, no matter what you pick up as your curriculum or as your profession, your projects will get you through your selection process, learners. So if you feel that you're a fresher, you may not get a job and all something, I guarantee you one thing, that number of jobs that are there in this country today have never been this high. The number of global capability centers that are opening in Chennai, Bangalore, Gurgaon, they're massive. So if you feel that you're not getting jobs or something, try completing as many projects as possible, because
Yeah,
they will be your stepping path to getting you selected.
correct.
All right. With
Mhm.
this, I think I'd like to say thank you to all the learners who joined, and special thanks to you, Aparna, for hosting me again.
Thank you, Suryansh. Someone on YouTube said that they've completed a pre-certification course, but we're looking forward to having you in one of our advanced courses as well. So this course, like Suryansh mentioned, gives you the opportunity to get practical exposure, understand practically how uh, you can become a UI UX designer, right? Okay, great. With that, I think this session comes to an end. Thanks so much.